Here's a question. When's the last time a prospect tried to talk you down on price? Well, if you're like most, it's not rare. It's kind of routine. Here's the thing. That fight is already lost by the time it starts. The sales professionals who command a premium price aren't better negotiators. They just built the structure in advance, so price never really is up for debate. That's exactly what we're covering in this month's Insider, my monthly live coaching program for sales pros and leaders who want out of the commodity dungeon for good. If that's you, come check it out at advancedsellingpodcast.com/insider. Welcome back to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest running sales training podcast history. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Caskey.
Host number 2, Bryan Neal.
We are celebrating this year 20 years at the microphone. And we've been doing this since 2006, and we want you to be a part of this celebration. So if you haven't already, make sure you send in an audio or a video, but an audio is fine, with what has this podcast done for you, meant for you. Maybe if you're now the number one person on the stack rank and you just started listening 2 years ago and you can attribute 99.9% of your success to the podcast or 1%, we'd love to hear it. And for everybody who gives us that and sends in an audio, we will give you a ticket, punch your ticket, as Bryan says, to a live coaching event that we're going to do only for the people who have sent in these audios and videos sometime in September. Be a 1 hour, 1.5 hour. We'll do something that'll be fun and you'll get access to it. You'll be an elite member of some kind of club.
So, you'll be in a club. You'll be in the 20th celebration club. What is 20th? Do you know? Is it like silver, gold,
metal?
Oh,
yeah, I don't
metal.
know.
I don't even know. I have to look that up.
Yeah, I'll have to find that out.
Check it out. Real quick, we're gonna get to our carry-on topic from last time. We're talking about limitations, and we're gonna start with the drift thing. But we're just talking about what did you call them, Bill? Some things of limitations.
Oh, patterns of limitations.
Patterns. I'm sorry, I couldn't find patterns. Patterns of limitations. We're gonna keep talking about that. Before that, and I'll forward this to Travis. This is a TikTok video. I thought this was interesting. I'm gonna read the caption. And the caption says, it's this video of this like parachute thing falling down from the sky into the woods. And it says, incredible footage shows a drone delivering water and food to 2 lost hikers near Bear Mountain, Colorado on Thursday. The hikers were reportedly running low on water and phone battery before emergency teams responded. The 2 were safely rescued and are uninjured. And what I thought was, if we can get a drone to the guys to drop a bottle of water, can't we get a helicopter there to come pick them up? Like, why are we flying? Okay, first step, let's get the drone. Let's fly it 40 hours over there, get them some water. Then we'll take the helicopter and then we'll go get them. I'm like, what? Aren't we out of order here? This seems really silly. And are they really lost if we can find them with the drone and they got their cell phones on? The whole thing, I'm like, this is just an interesting, it just seemed backwards to me.
Yeah. Are they really lost?
Are they really lost?
Did they say they were lost?
Well, yes, but then the drone found them. So they're really lost. There's right over the top of them. I'm like, you're not lost anymore, man. We can see you. You're found. You are here. Your eyes have been opened. Anyway.
There's a lot of questions around.
A lot of questions on this. I'm sure I'm missing something here, but it just thought, well, before we send the helicopter to rescue the guys, why don't you send them a couple buckets of water and an iPhone charger, a portable battery, and then we'll talk about when to go get them. I'm like, why don't we just go get them now?
I guess the cost of a helicopter rescue is probably a little bit more than the cost of a couple of bottles of water delivered via drone. So
I guess
they're probably trying to save a little money. Their lives, they're not worth that much.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go to our topic. We're doing patterns of limitation here. We ended last episode talking about drift. And I want to just, again, what do they say something now? They don't say double stamp, but what do the kids say? They say like
pull a thread or
it's a double down. It's some, there's a word they use. Oh man. Anyway, drift happens slowly and it is immeasurable until it's huge and massively measurable. Drift happens really slowly over time, and then all of a sudden, kind of like weight gain. You like gain a little bit of weight over a long period of time, and you're like, how did I get to here? And so I think it's important to recognize drift early and recognize that small drift matters. That's what I wanted to add to that small drift matters. So an example would be you're used to making 10 outbound reaches, a week, and that's served you well. And then all of a sudden that 10 turns into 8 a week. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem like a big deal until you do that for a year. And then it becomes a huge deal. Yeah. And if 8 then turns to 7, it's a bigger deal. So notice drift early, and every little bit of drift matters.
Yeah,
that's what I want
really
to say.
Good.
Drift.
It is weight. It's a weight thing. If you're not weighing yourself, once a day or once a week or whatever, it's 2 pounds here, 3 pounds there, and and then you wake up and you're 100 pounds, and and then it's hard. It's hard to get back.
Yes.
All right, so we were going through these patterns of failure. Drift was one we ended on. Did you have another one, or do you want me to go?
You go one, and then I'll think of another one.
Okay,
please.
All right. One, I think we get blinded by the pattern of limitation that has to do with fear and has to do with how much of our behavior is driven by fear, and is that a good thing? And I know in the Catholic Church there's a confession. I presume there's a orientation to confession, and that, what is that, once a week, or when do you do confession?
You go as much as you want to go,
much as you need.
You want to go,
and that's a form of telling the truth. And I think we talk about detachment a lot. We say you need to be detached. You need to be, free to move and free to say. And you can't worry about the outcome. Well, I can't do that if I'm afraid. If I'm afraid of the future, or I'm afraid if I do this, what's going to happen? If I don't do this, what's going to happen? If fear is governing everything around you, then you can't be detached. You just can't, because the fear is too. And so the question becomes well, how do I get rid of that fear? And I think you have to name it. You have to admit it. And I work with a coach sometimes, and he says the first thing I do when I go into a company is, okay, where's the fear? And I'm like, do they answer? He goes, oh, everybody knows exactly where the fear is. Well, I'm afraid that if we don't succeed, the company's going to fail, or we're going to profit a bill, or they're going to fire me. But he says by coming clean with the fear, it just releases the energy of detachment. He didn't call it detachment, but I don't think we spend nearly enough time focusing or just being mindful of where the fear is. You don't have to obsess on it, but you have to at least name it. Yeah,
that's really good. God, it's funny. My wife was just telling me about this. I don't know if it's the same person or where she's getting her information from, but naming the fear. We just talked about it yesterday at brunch. Okay, I have one that goes to the limiting pattern around seeing what's possible. And I think a lot of people that sell have a limitation pattern of thinking that things are not possible that are. And you can roll back things in the world, like the first trillionaire, and go to a place where you're like, there'll never be a trillionaire. And now there is. And now there's one. And there's probably going to be another one coming up here soon. So that's possible. So you go, well, is it possible to have a quadrillionaire? I'm like, it is, because it is. And so you notice your limiting pattern here. If when you're served an idea or a seed from Bill Caskey or Bryan Neal or someone, your leader, your boss, and your first reaction is, that's not possible in my territory. Yeah. They won't go for that. And watch what your pattern does. Your pattern finds validation to that belief. Well, the last time we did that, when we presented that, they kiboshed it immediately. Well, when was that? Well, that was 4 years ago. Okay, world's a little different. So just notice, and this is one of those things like a FedEx arrow, like the arrow in the FedEx logo that most people have seen. Some have not. If you've never seen the FedEx logo arrow, look for it. You'll see it. You never unsee it. That until you're seeing these things, you won't see them. So you have to force yourself to see, boy, every time that we bring that up, I don't think that's possible. I don't think my territory can produce $1 million. Yeah. It never has. And I can't see a path to it. You have to look for the path to it and figure out how. And that, I think it's a really, really common limiting pattern.
And that's kind of like the question of, what do you want? Like I start all my coaching was, well, what do you want? What do you want from your business? What do you want your income to be? What do you want your lifestyle? What's the want here? And a lot of times, well, probably 80% of the time, people can't really tell you. they can't really tell you what they really want. Well, I want more. Well, I want more free time with my kids. That's not enough. I gotta be a little more vivid with that. And that comes as a cousin to your possibilities. It's like, well, what's possible? Because if I'm only wanting what's possible for me in my current state, then I may not be wanting enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I realize, well, what's possible? Is it possible for you to go from $500,000 to $1 million of income? I don't know. And I'll show you how it is. And then you're like, well, that's my new goal.
Right.
But if there's no felt possibility there, what you want will always be less than what you could have. And I don't, this is not about money all the time. It's about what do you want your life to look like, really?
Yeah. And it's very common in that setting you do the either or both and game. This is a limiting pattern, either or both and, which means we tend to, when we're in a pattern of limitation, think, well, it's either this or that. I either will never see my kids or I can't make $1 million. It's either make $1 million, not see my kids. It's a binary choice. You don't have to pick one. You put the and in there and say, how can I make $1 million in sales and still take, 6 weeks of vacation? Now we're solving for something that's really cool and fun.
Yeah.
But your limiting pattern will tell you that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah. I'm already working 40 hours a week, Brian.
Totally.
If I get to $1 million, I mean, I don't have any more time. Who said anything about time?
Right. Totally. Right. Exactly.
And your 40 hours may not be spent properly. Maybe your 40 hours are spent for the 500 or whatever the income is.
Yeah.
Your 40 hours are very different when it comes to $1 million, but they're still 40 hours. It's not 100 hours, but you might have to admit that the 40 hours is not going to get you to where you want to go. That's spent the same way, I mean.
And I want to call out, when Bill is coaching this, any a coach or a manager or me, anybody, when they say that to you and your instant reaction is what you just heard Bill say, well, I don't have time. That's a limiting pattern.
Yeah.
You've got to notice that. And that's where your answer is, because you got to get rid of that pattern. You'll never be free of it. You just won't until you figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, Elon Musk has about the same number of hours per day as we do, and he's worth $1 trillion and we're not. And so was he lucky? Was he smart? Maybe. Was he a great salesperson and a really good marketer? Yeah. But he used his time differently than we do.
100%.
So it's not, and I've seen some of his videos that he's done where people have asked him how he spends his time, and it's always in the service of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's the problem here? Well, how do we fix that problem? It's never, hey, let's just talk about, it's always problem focused. And I think that's do you have one more before we end?
I don't. Go ahead. You got one?
Okay. No,
throw one in there. We're good.
Several more, but I don't want to belabor the fact, because we've given you enough now that you need to go through these 2 or 3 today that we did. And I think we can sometimes be guilty of giving too much and then your head's spinning at a too high a rate. So just take these 2 or 3 and ask yourself the question, or am I limited by some of these patterns of thought?
I love it. Okay. Go to the website, chime in. The 20th anniversary celebration. Please send us a video of what the podcast has meant to you, what you've learned from listening to the podcast, any personal anecdote you want to share with us. That will buy you a ticket to our September celebration coaching event in September of 2026.
Awesome.
And that's it. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye.